Let's go Dolphins! Things are pretty heated behind the scenes at the Miami Dolphins, from new coaching hires to changes in the front office, and there are also rumors circulating about a possible coaching departure. Yes, my friends, we may have some surprises in the coming days. I'll tell you everything that's going on, but first make sure you've already hit the like button if you're a true Miami Dolphins fan. If possible, comment like this: Go Dolphins! Fins up! First, let's talk about the wide receivers coaching position. Over the weekend, Miami made a big move by hiring Robert Prince to fill the vacancy left after the parting of ways with Wes Welker. Prince comes with an impressive resume, having spent last season with the Dallas Cowboys and boasting more than 3 decades of coaching experience. Since 1989, he has built a career that has spanned both college football and the NFL, including stints as a wide receivers coach with the Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, and Dallas Cowboys. Prince also served as Boise State's offensive coordinator in the early 2010s, further solidifying his credentials as a top-notch coach. In fact, Prince's reputation precedes him. He earned the title of Best Wide Receiver Coach for the 2023 to 2024 season, though the exact criteria for that honor remain a bit ambiguous. However, his track record speaks for itself. He helped develop talents like C.D. Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Brandon Cooks during his time with the Cowboys. Dolphins fans, just imagine what he could do for Miami's already impressive wide receiver duo of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Those two have been the focal point of Miami's passing attack, accounting for nearly 80% of the receiving yards and all of the wide receiver touchdowns last season. However, beyond Hill and Waddle, the Dolphins' receiving core has struggled to produce, and that's where Robert Prince's experience becomes so crucial. The challenge for Prince will be to elevate the performance of Miami's other wide receivers, who have largely been inconsistent. Names like Braxton Berrios and River Cracraft haven't been able to make a significant impact, and it raises the question, was the problem with the talent itself, or was it due to ineffective coaching under Welker? Prince will have the opportunity to answer that question by molding players into contributors who can complement Hill and Waddle, especially in critical situations like the red zone. One player to keep an eye on is Malik Washington, a 6th-round pick out of Virginia in last April's draft. Washington showed flashes of potential during his rookie season, despite inconsistent quarterback play and limited opportunities. With Tua Tagovailoa missing games due to injury, Washington's role grew late in the year, and he made the most of his chances. Under Prince's guidance, the young receiver could take a big leap forward. Still, Miami might not want to rely solely on internal development. Adding a physical, red zone target type of receiver in the upcoming draft or free agency could provide an immediate boost to the offense. Speaking of development, Prince's history of success in Detroit, Houston, and Dallas makes him the ideal candidate to nurture young talent. Players like Kenny Golladay flourished under his watch, and if Prince can replicate that success in Miami, the Dolphins could find themselves with a much more dynamic and balanced receiving unit. Switching gears to the front office, Miami is saying goodbye to a key member of its team. Reggie McKenzie, a senior personnel executive, has left the organization to take the same role with the Tennessee Titans. McKenzie's departure comes as a surprise to many, especially since he's making a lateral move rather than advancing to a general manager position. McKenzie previously served as the GM of the then Oakland Raiders, where he made a name for himself with a sharp eye for talent. His experience and leadership have been valuable to the Dolphins front office, and his loss will undoubtedly be felt. What makes this departure even more puzzling is the lack of compensation for Miami. The NFL awards compensatory draft picks to teams when front office executives or coaches leave for higher level positions. However, because McKenzie is taking on an equivalent role in Tennessee, the Dolphins won't receive any compensation. This leaves Miami without one of its top personnel minds and nothing to show for it. It begs the question, why would McKenzie leave a strong Dolphins team for a Titans organization that, at least on paper, appears to be in a less favorable position? Was he promised more influence or a pathway to a GM role in the future? For now, we can only speculate, but it's a tough blow for Miami's front office. Finally, there's some buzz around Ryan Crow, Miami's outside linebackers coach. The Dallas Cowboys have reportedly requested an interview with Crow for their defensive coordinator position. Crow is a rising star in the coaching world, having joined Miami last year and making an immediate impact. He played a significant role in the development of first-round pick Chop Robinson, who had an impressive rookie season. Crow's stock is clearly on the rise, as this isn't the first time his name has come up in connection with high-profile jobs. Earlier this offseason, he interviewed for the New England Patriots defensive coordinator vacancy. While it's always a compliment when other teams show interest in your staff, Miami could find itself in a tricky situation if Crow leaves. Losing him would not only deprive the Dolphins of a talented coach, but would also mean missing out on potential compensatory picks. NFL rules state that a coach must spend at least 2 years with a team before the team is eligible for compensation if they leave for a higher level role. So, if Crow were to depart after just 1 season, Miami would be left empty-handed once again. There's also a scenario where Crow could become even more important to the Dolphins' future. If current defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver were to leave for a head coaching job next year, a possibility given his success, Crow could be a top candidate to step into the role. Keeping him around for at least another season could provide Miami with a valuable safety net, not to mention the potential for compensatory picks if he eventually takes a DC job elsewhere. These moves, and potential moves, highlight the constant state of change in the NFL. From the sidelines to the front office, the Dolphins are experiencing a period of transition that could have long-term implications. But what do you think, Dolphins fans? Are you excited about Robert Prince's potential impact on the wide receivers? How concerned are you about the loss of Reggie McKenzie and the possibility of Ryan Crow leaving? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure to stay tuned for more updates as we continue to cover everything Miami Dolphins. The team is clearly at a crossroads in several key areas, and these changes, both confirmed and rumored, are bound to have ripple effects across the organization. Starting again with Robert Prince, his arrival couldn't come at a more critical time. While Miami's offense under head coach Mike McDaniel has been lauded for its creativity and explosive capabilities, the reliance on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle has created a significant imbalance. This top-heavy production leaves the Dolphins vulnerable when either Hill or Waddle is unavailable or when defenses lock in on shutting them down. Prince's ability to develop depth at the wide receiver position is going to be tested early, and Dolphins fans should keep a close eye on how he integrates younger players like Malik Washington into the system. Washington, in particular, represents the kind of untapped potential that could reshape the receiving core. A 6th-round pick is often overlooked, but Washington's flashes of talent last season suggest he could be more than just a role player. Under Prince's mentorship, Washington might emerge as a reliable third option, filling the gap behind Hill and Waddle. Add to that the possibility of Miami drafting a physical, big-bodied receiver, someone who can dominate in the red zone, and suddenly, this unit starts looking a lot more complete. The importance of this cannot be overstated. In today's NFL, depth at wide receiver is often what separates the good teams from the elite. Look at teams like the Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles. They don't just rely on 1 or 2 stars. They have multiple options who can step up in big moments. If Prince can elevate Miami's supporting cast, it will not only make the offense more dangerous, but also extend the careers of Hill and Waddle by reducing their workload. That's a win-win scenario for the Dolphins. On the flip side, the loss of Reggie McKenzie adds a layer of uncertainty to the front office. McKenzie's departure feels like a misstep for Miami, not just because of his expertise, but also because of the timing. As we wrap up this breakdown, there's one thing we know for sure. The Miami Dolphins are in a period of transition, and the moves they make, or don't make, in the coming months will have a lasting impact on the franchise. So, Dolphins fans, now it's your turn. What do you think about all these changes? Are you excited about Robert Prince joining the coaching staff? How big of a loss is Reggie McKenzie to the front office? And do you think Ryan Crow should stay, or is it inevitable that he'll move on to a bigger role? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's go Dolphins!